YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Okay, now this weekend has been a great weekend for TV. My last video was on Queen's Court, which is on Peacock, and this video is on Swarm, which had Black Twitter ablaze all weekend long over a particular scene with Chloe Bailey and Damson Idris, which I will get to later on. But I want to get into the Swarm. Okay, so it's like loosely based off of Beyonce fans, and I actually found out while watching the show that some of it was real, as far as like you had like the 4 stripper thing was real, like it was, but it wasn't a docu-series, you get what I'm saying? It was one of those things where it's fiction, but it's based off of a few facts. So if you're not familiar with Dominique Fishback, I want you to Google this woman. She was in Project Power, The Hate U Give, a very good performance in the Judas movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. She played, I forgot that man's name. But the one who was murdered by the police, she played his girlfriend. She was actually pregnant with his child. Fred Hampton. Sorry about that. Please look her up, and let me tell you something. So her character in this movie is a little off. You kind of get that early on. I'm thinking maybe she's just socially awkward. Like when I started watching this, I thought it was going to be about like super fans just going to the extremes over Beyonce. Homegirl turned into a whole serial killer. She was taking people out. If you said anything, now in this movie, it's not Beyonce. It's like a fictional character that's supposed to be like as big as Beyonce, but if her name Nyjah. So if you said anything bad about Nyjah, she asked you who your favorite artist is. If it wasn't Nyjah, you were getting sliced, diced, or shot, or strangled. Okay. So it lasted, I want to say it was 10 episodes. Each episode is about 30 minutes, so it's an easy bingeable movie. It's an easy bingeable show that you can watch in a weekend, like easy. Probably a day if you're off and just chilling in the house. So again, just like I mentioned before, I didn't really see a trailer for this, right? I just saw it on when I was clicking through Amazon Prime and a little bit on Twitter. But I didn't know you had like a few stars in this. You had my boy Leon, who was I love Leon, and his role was really good. Like he played the father of the girl that, took herself out, the Chloe Bailey's character. And he played the hell out of that role. And it was only one episode, but he made his impact. I found out Billie Eilish. You got to pardon me because I don't really listen to a lot of the new stuff. I didn't know there was Billie Eilish, so I was looking it up online. You had her. You had Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter. I'm trying to think back. You had a few people in there that I was surprised was in there. I actually didn't think Damson Idris was going to be in there till I saw it. And his role was short too. Like I said, she was knocking people off. And so now the part that kind of threw me, and I had to actually look online to get it, so it was 7 episodes. Now that I think about it, the 6th episode was like in this another 48, type of documentary series where the woman's trying to find the killer, the person who's killing all these people, which was Dominique Fishback's character, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So the 7th episode, she ends up killing her girlfriend because she spent these tickets on Nyjah and doesn't have any money. She's always broke. She seems to find cars out of nowhere. I guess she hijacks them. So we get to this scene towards the end of episode 7, where it's like kind of, you can tell it's not reality, right? That she ran up on stage and Nyjah was like, no, let her be okay. And then she ended up leaving with Nyjah. She's in the limo with her head on her shoulder. And I'm like, did it end like that? So come to find out, episode 6 is actually the detective catching Nyjah, because she did run up on stage, but she didn't go home with Nyjah like she had dreamed in episode 7. So someone was suggesting to watch episode 7 first, then 6. however y'all want to do it, I can see it now with them describing it, because at first I was like, oh, so she got to kill all those people, not get caught, and go home with Nyjah. Another thing is, she seems to have, I thought maybe she was like asexual, but on episode 7 we see that she's like, and I don't want to offend anybody here, but I guess you would call like a more masculine lesbian, and that's where she meets her girlfriend, and that episode was pretty much about her and her girlfriend. She's trying this new life in Atlanta after killing people, over the country. So, and you can actually look up, like when you're watching the show, you can look up some of the names, I think, of the real people that are involved in some of these murders and some of these crimes. Now, out of all that I just said, the biggest part that people keep talking about in this 7-part series is the first 2-3 minutes of Chloe Bailey and Damson Idris having sex. Okay, so, he had Chloe on all fours, now in the bed, back shots, whatnot. It's just, I don't know what it is about Chloe Bailey, but people always come for her for some reason. I don't know what did she do to y'all? Now, I don't know if that scene got people riled up because, okay, we saw some of the people that are my age group, about 30s, 40s, who was watching Fighting Temptations back 20 years ago. Came out 20 years ago this year, I believe. So we saw Chloe Bailey as a kid in that movie. We saw her as a kid in Meet the Browns. And I don't know if people are having a hard time understanding that this woman is grown. Like, she'll be 25 years old this year. This is a grown woman. I'm pretty sure many of us were doing our thing at 24. You see what I'm saying? But people act like it was porn. I mean, have y'all never seen a sex scene in a movie before? And it's just all these, think pieces. You know how the internet is with think pieces and breaking down stuff. And so, now somebody did bring up something that I felt needed to be brought up, is that y'all talking about Chloe Bailey's character, but she's having sex with a whole, the character. It's not like they were really having sex, but the character was portraying a sex scene with another actor, but y'all talking about Chloe like she's some kind of H-O-E, however you want to spell that. And it's like, y'all not talking about Damson. It's crazy because people are talking about this like a sex tape leaked out. This is a movie. You get what I'm saying? And I was surprised because it was like literally out of a 7-part series. It was literally at the beginning. Credits may have been still rolling. Literally at the beginning, like the first 5 minutes. And it's like, it was trending on Twitter for like 2 days. I think it's not on there anymore, not trending, but for 2 days straight. And then you had people just taking that little clip out of the movie saying, look, the sex scene with Chloe, like it's a leaked sex tape or something. I feel like Chloe, even though she's been singing, her and her sister have been singing for a little minute, I think she's still finding herself as a woman. I remember being 20, in my early 20s, mid 20s. You're still developing yourself as a person, as a young woman. So she's going to try different things. We can't say she's not talented, because that would be a lie. But, she's just in her ultra sexy stage right now. That's what it is. We watched Rihanna go from when Rihanna first came out. She was like a typical pop artist. She kind of looked like everybody else. Then when she had that incident with Chris Brown, she was real like hard rock, edgy, had the blonde with the cut. Then she went from that to the red wig. Then you get what I'm saying? Like, people evolve. Let this young woman evolve. Like, the first time I saw her and her sister, it was in 2016, and it was a song they did together called Drop. And that was my first time ever seeing them, ever hearing them, and I was amazed. I was like, these two young girls, because at the time I think they were under 18. I said, these two young girls are so talented. Like, I think Chloe rapped a little bit. I still listen to that song to this day. Look it up on YouTube. The video's dope too. It's real nice. And that was what, 7 years ago. So I don't know. I feel like Black Twitter tends to kind of single people out. For some reason, she just gets singled out. I don't know. But I look forward to seeing more acting from her, more singing, see how she develops as a woman. Now, I wanted to shout out the co-creator of the show because Danny, I want to call him Danny Glover so bad. Donald Glover has been thrown out into the spotlight as being the creator of the show, but give a shout out to Janine Nabers. That's Nabers. Nabers is a co-creator of the show, because you want to give everybody their props, man. Everybody that was involved. And she actually spoke on the sex scene actually being very important, because what happened was, while they were doing their thing, Dominique Fishback's character was just standing there looking like, and it was just showing how she has kind of this weird association with sex, if you will. But anyway, man, listen, if you want something quick to binge and something that'll keep your attention and something different, I mean, how many times do we see a black female serial killer on a show? I'm not trying to endorse serial killing. I'm strictly talking about entertainment purposes only. All right, now, listen. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about Swarm. And someone was saying they can't wait for episode 2. Let's pause on the episodes of season 2s. We need to get back to having miniseries. We don't need all these season 1, 2s, and 3s. This is it. Let it go. It's done. It's a done deal. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace and blessings.